have the meats. Russell Westbrook hasn't been known for having the best jump shot, but that could be changing, guys. A social media video was posted of Westbrook draining three-pointers and working on his mid-range game ahead of his first season with LeBron and the Lakers. Skip, question for you. Will Russ's shooting improve this season?
You saw it.
Shannon Sharp.
You saw that.
He's working on it.
I am sorry to be the bearer of bad tidings.
No, you're not.
But I actually laughed out loud when I saw this video last night. I am not overstating this when I say that over his 13 seasons in the National Basketball Association, Russell Westbrook has proven to be the worst superstar jump shooter in the history of pro basketball. The worst. He is an abysmal, high-volume, three-point shooter. Yeah. And as the old saying goes, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I will be the first to admit, I do like the new form in this video because it's a lower launch point. He's getting it down in here where he can get a little more control of it and get a little more power behind the shot. It's more of a shot-put shot, if you will. His usual release is much higher and wilder and harder to control and be consistent with. But just to nail this down for you, since Russell Westbrook entered this league, of the 246 players, that's a lot of players, 246 who have averaged at least three-point shots per game, Russell is third worst over that 13-year span. Third worst behind Josh Jackson and Baron Davis, believe it or not. And yet Russell is viewed as a superstar, a perennial all-star, obviously, a man who in 4 of the last 5 years has averaged a triple-double, which is impossibly great. But when it comes to shooting, he is impossibly bad. And I will hand the ball off to you in just a moment. I conclude my case against Russ by saying, you realize that the shooting demons finally infiltrated his free throw shooting over the last 3 years, because for his first 10 years, he averaged 81% from the free throw line, which will work, as you know. 1 year in 2017, he hit a crescendo. He made 85% of his free throws in just 2017. I don't know what happened. The demons got a hold of his subconscious, not Ben Simmons-like, but we're heading in that direction to where over the last 3 years, 2 of them were 66%, including last year, and one, well, let's just do the average of the 3, so he's 69%. So he's 81% for his first 10 years from the free throw line, 69%, that's LeBron-esque, for the last 3 years. So he's even crumbling at the free throw line. And I believe all of that is unfixable, because when you get in the heat of battle, you will just revert to what you know, which is wild, high, three-point shooting.
Skip, it's hard for me to disagree with anything that you just said, but all I can ask a guy to do is to work on the things in the offseason that he feels he needs to improve upon to get better. Russ feels that he needs to his shot. I think a lot of this has to do with shot selection. When you're coming down on the fast break, Skip, how about you not pull up with a 30-foot three? How about do
Fair.
that?
Yeah. It's hard to practice that. You have to learn that. You have to sort of convince yourself, I'm not going to do that anymore.
Right. And so, Skip, if we get better technique, that's a lot of that has to do with, if you look at the way Klay Thompson, now, he's never going to be one of those shooters. We're not going to ask him to be, Skip, and he's not a very good three-point shooter. But can we get him to 35%? That's all. Skip, I'm just saying, we don't need you 42%, but we can't have you at 26% like you were in Houston. We can't have you at 29% or 30%. Can we just get you to 35? And I think a lot of that has to do with shot selection. I also believe playing alongside AD, playing alongside LeBron James will help him take better shots. He'll get better opportunities because they double down on LeBron. Now you get an opportunity to cut to the basket, lay the ball up. They double down AD. Now he's going to have to knock down some of these wide open shots, Skip. He's going to get a lot of opportunities.
He's going to get a whole bunch of because they will dare him.
Yes. And that's something that, hey, he's working on. Skip, at the end of the day, that's all you can ask. Is the guy working in the offseason? Some of the questions that we've asked about Ben Simmons, is he really working on that jump shot? Or is he just telling us he's working because come games, we don't never see him even attempt it? At least we know Russ is in the gym. He's working on it.
What has he done for the last 13 off seasons? Has he worked on it?
No, I believe, Skip, if he takes better shot selections,
okay,
I believe that has a lot. Skip, you don't always, even if you're not pulling up with a three, Skip, trying to pull up a 3-on-1 fast break and you try to kiss the ball off the backboard, that's not a high percentage shot. If we just try to increase, get a little closer to the backboard, the jump shots will be there. We can always get a 30-foot three, Skip, but how about take a 15-foot shot? How about try to get all the way to the basket and maybe get fouled or dish it off? So I think a lot of that has to do with that. Better shot selection, and just it's like, you know what? Now is not the time for me to do that. But I love what I'm seeing. I love the guy that's in the gym, working on his craft, trying to get better, trying to improve. We're not trying to teach an old dog new trick. We're trying to teach an old dog to improve on the tricks he already knows.
Okay. So this old dog has averaged 31% from the three-point line over 13 years. But he actually, maybe he worked the previous offseason, he was actually a tick better than 31. He was 32% in Washington last year. Guess where that ranked? That was 150th of 156 qualified three-point shooters. 150 of 156. It's bottom of the barrel.
We just trying to get him to 35, 36%.
If you could, it would be gold as in Fort Knox gold.
Yeah.
As in bubble championship gold.
It'd be the championship gold.
Yeah.
As in gold championship.
Okay. Here's why he will not work. He will not fit. This is why he will drive LeBron James' highest basketball IQ in the game out of his mind, out of his basketball mind. 4 times he has led the league in turnovers, and 4 other times he's been second in turnovers. That's 8 out of 13 years. So what makes him Russ? What makes him go? Why is he must-see TV for me? I don't miss a Russ game because he is like a roller coaster ride of he's going to get a triple-double. He's going to average double-digit rebounds at 6'3".
I don't believe he does that this year.
Okay, well, maybe not. I don't even know how he averages 10-plus assists. He's led the league in assists. He led it last year in assists. They're weird assists because they're not LeBron-esque where you say, oh, what a sweet pass that was.
Right.
He doesn't do that. He drives it like no one's ever driven it at 6'3". He is the most athletic point guard we've ever seen, and I know Derrick Rose is in that debate conversation. He's right there, right? He's right there. But Russ is at the peak. He's the epitome of the athletic point guard. So he can't really shoot a lick from 3 or even mid-range 2s are scary, bad, inconsistent. But he can get to the rim.
Right.
He might hurt you at the free throw line here in the last 3 years, but he can get to the rim.
Get you in foul trouble.
Okay.
And then that LeBron and AD be at the foul line.
He can get you in foul trouble. He learned about 5 years ago that if he gets to the rim and draws 2 people and 2 arms extended, if you just drop it on the floor for Steven Adams, he's going to dunk it, and you're going to get in the assist column, you get another big one, right? So his assists are either dump-offs or pass out of the lane assists where he just whips it out to the perimeter, right?
Can I ask you this? What impact do you believe playing alongside AD and LeBron will have on Russ?
I think LeBron will have tremendous impact for a while through the regular season. Where he really reverts is in the playoffs. What has he been with no KD? Without KD in the playoffs, Russ is 8-21. Well, you can say, well, he didn't have Kevin Durant, the best player on the planet. But that's the point. So will that go up? Will his playoff percentages go up just because he's playing alongside LeBron?
Yes.
Or will LeBron try to win in spite of Russ and not be able to overcome him? Because that's what's going to happen to me.
The thing that upsets you most about LeBron is that he, instead of taking the game over like a Jordan or Kobe, he always tries to ingratiate everybody else. So he's not going to try to win.
How do you ingratiate a guy who can't shoot?
Easy. Get him layups. Get it. That's what we do. Hey, we just if he can't shoot threes, we get him closer to the basket. He can't shoot 15-footers, we get him layups and dunks. That's what we do, Skip.
4 times he's led this league in usage rate, how much he has the ball in his hand, and 4 other times he was second in usage rate. You think he's going to be happy to see the ball again and again in LeBron's hands?
At the end of the day, Skip, a lot of times we overlook and not see the value because we're so caught up in telling what someone can't do instead of finding out what he can do well, and let's play to his strength. Let's stay in that wheelhouse right there.
Your wheelhouse would be having Rajon Rondo at the point guard,
Rondo is not
LeBron
starting.
at the 2,
Rondo,
and AD at the 4 or 5.
Skip.
That's your wheelhouse.
When was the last time you saw a guy not start for 4 or 5 years and all of a sudden become a starter again?
I'm just telling you that would work for you.
But you told me what would work when they got playoff Rondo, the Clippers.
Well,
that
I thought
didn't
it
work.
would. Okay, but they're a different bunch with different mentality, and once you challenge and humiliate Kawhi Leonard,
Kawhi humiliated him, coming in that man's face after he had just come up winning a title.
Okay.
Pat made you a great pass, and you are going to talk about what's wrong with that bad pass.
do you think the first time LeBron gags a last-second shot, which will happen, do you think Rondo will get up in his face and say, "What are you doing? You're better than that"?
No. That's not what Rondo. He sought Rondo out. Rondo was pass the ball. Kawhi sought him out. He's like, I saw LeBron hit many of those. Any which he has.
You could have Buddy Hield at the 2 and Rondo at the 1. And then LeBron could go ahead and play the whatever he wants to play, 4 he's talking about.
No.
Then you'd be loaded. Then you'd be championship bound.
We're loaded now. We're championship bound now.
Yeah, you're loaded with a gun that's going to blow up in your face.
Okay, well, guess what? It's going to be us in the nest. That's what you want to see. That's what I want to see.
I do want to
That's what's
see
gonna
that.
happen.
And you're not going to get home.
We're getting home.
Kawhi's coming back before you know.
First of all, Skip, let that go. Let that go. That's over. Kawhi, they're shooting videos. All he want to do is be in Drake's video. Yeah, that's all he wants to do.
He's kind of